Guys, so let's start new prediction, but first let's examine what happened last week because it's very unique. Even though it was the third week of expiration option and we got ready for it, see what happened. We open with a gap down, immediately pushed up, and we try to fight this trend line. You can see the tail here. The sellers trying to fight. Next day, again, they try to fight and miss. Third day, again, the buyers and the seller are in a big fight. And then on Thursday, this is a big candle. Even though the volume is coming down, this is a big volume there. You can see the reaction of the volume, buyers and sellers. The seller want to push inside, the buyer want to push outside. I can imagine who is the buyer who try to push the market to the upside. But on Friday, of course, this is the expiration date, so the price didn't move much. Inside candle, resting on the 390 perfectly. So what's gonna be next week? The prediction last week, I think it was a spike to the downside and then a reversal. I thought we're gonna probably see, I didn't see this push to the upside. I thought it's gonna happen this week, a push to this line or the 200 and then reverse to the downside. So basically, I had it correct on Monday. That's it, because I thought it's gonna be a little bit later. So what's gonna be next week? So let's push to the weekly and see what happens. See it on the weekly. This is the fight. The sellers come inside the trend, which is not a good sign. This is an engulfing candle. So on the weekly size, you can see the buyers coming and trying to hold those Fibonacci level, those unique Fibonacci level, and they managed to hold it. So even though this coming for a weakness point, you can assume that if it breaks the 380, we're going to see a push to the downside. The failure of the buyers to hold the price, because you can see the buyers come in here, they come in here. The 350 is a unique point, and a lot of people waiting for the 320. You can see the next Fibonacci level, but this is a break of the economy. If the S&P coming to the 320, this is a break of the economy. It's going to take about 2 to 3 years to establish a new movement to the upside. So a lots of money involved here to protect the trend and trying to keep it above. And this is the reason, the main reason why I think we're gonna see until April a sideways move, not much big movement. What you can see here, you know what? Let me clear those lines. They're irrelevant now. You can see it here. This is the low, is the 55, and this is already in the 42. So this is a higher low, while the stochastic making a lower low, and this is a divergence. The divergence isn't complete because you're gonna have a push to the upside, and you're gonna wanna wait for the cross and then find an entry point. So at the moment, it can still push downside, and there is no much. This is the low is the 374, yeah, 75, 74. So just spike it out and destroy the divergence, and gonna have a continuation to the downside. So gonna be very interesting. If we look at it at the monthly, you can see the sideways move. This is coming up, reject. This is coming down, reject. So this is the range. If we're gonna see a break and close below the 380, it's not gonna be that good. At the moment we are on a downtrend. This is coming a sideways move, so be prepared for it. be patient. Let's go for the 4-hour chart and see how it looks. So we saw the spike. We knew that it want to reach to the 380. It's almost reached it. Why couldn't touch it and then bounce up? You can see the volume and the bar is pushing up. This is an orange volume. Resting here, taking some breath, open and closing the gap, so they don't want to leave a gap behind, which means that if they don't want to leave a gap behind, maybe they want to continue to the upside. But then you can see they leave in a gap here and open with a gap down. So can we find ourselves next week pushing, closing the gap and aiming for this 400, even the 399? This is one possibility. And see what happened when it touched the orange, bounce up, and then a break. So it touched here, bounce down, and then we're probably gonna see a break, so get ready for it. What we see here, there is no divergence. Let's see if there is. This is 97.68. This is 96. So there is still no divergence. If it will push to the upside, if it were pushed to the upside, it's gonna create a divergence. This is the reason why the sellers and the buyers who bought here sell some stuff to release some power, bring more buyers to the party, and then probably will try to attempt to break to the upside. So let's see what are the opportunity for next week. A small resistance at the 390 to 30.40. So probably trying to move to this area, moving down, and then trying to move for the break. Take out all the sellers here because there are few sellers that enter there. And for the long term, it tried to reach to the 401. So it means try to reach there to this point, and the end run is for the 409 some place here. This is the end run for the S&P. I could presume this is one scenario. The second scenario is that if we close below the 386, 380, if you want to be much safer, is the 385. But it could mean that we could do something even rejecting here and moving there, or even rejecting here and moving there, because the target I think is the 377. This is my target, and then try to decide if you want to push up or to push to the downside. At the moment, the trend you can see is down, is negative. Here is below the zero, but it's starting to I don't know, raise its nose to the upside, started to be positive. So we need to go. Let's clear it up. This is the daily, so you can see this is the down trend. This is the area of indecision. So moving up, moving down, moving up. This is a big area of indecision, so we could face it. You can see the big volume there. You can see the big volume here. Something like this. Then a break, false break to the upside. Going to be very interesting to see how it goes. At the moment on the daily, you could see that we are below the 200. Could be interesting. So this is, be very careful from this zone because this is a straight. The 200 is on a straight, so indecision. You're going to be from the upside, you're probably going to be the downside. Wait for the trend to be complete and then decided where to go. At the moment, it could move to the upside, but not yet. Let's go for the 1 hour and see how it looks there in a smaller time frame. This is, you can see the trend is down, coming back. So buyers committed here at the 390. They tried to hold it. It's below the 200. You can see the big volume coming up. So the buyers committed here. So you can assume that if you're gonna see it break below the 385, close below, a lot of stop losses started to hit, and it can push the market to the downside. At the moment, the buyers are still strong. They try to hold it. This is moving up. Let's see how it goes here. This is 12. This is no, there isn't divergence yet. So I will wait to see if we're gonna have a divergence. At the moment, you probably can push a trend here and see what happened in the pre-market, something like this, and you can see what happened. Something, this is a free drawing, so if it push below here, it's gonna fail. So if, and still below the 200, a lot of people will wait to see what's gonna happen. So the SPY doesn't give us a lot of clue what the next step is. At the moment, if you are following the trend and the trend is your friend, wait for it. This is accumulation or distribution phase. It seems that it's going to be accumulation, probably spike again, and then try to decide if it's want to push higher. This gives me a reason to think that something like this, we're going to see a push to the upside again and trying to break the trend and moving to the upside. Let's move to the Qs. Sorry. The Qs were much stronger. It was perfectly executed at 285 to 86. We see it coming, and you see how it touched it and immediately bounced up, but it bounced with a big movement to the upside. Didn't look behind. Green, 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 green. This is the end zone, the 306 here, and then start to sell, even though it closed above, and now this is close below. Probably next target 313, and then try to decide, try to attack this high, taking out all the short sellers out for the opening for the rest of the year. So the 307 gonna be a point for it to break to the upside. So we're probably moving here, resting, and then try to move to the 313. At the moment, let me see something. Just a sec, sorry guys. 310, this is it. Next target can be the 315, 16, and yeah. Yeah. So this is the Qs. Could it move down? Even though it tried to spike down here. Sorry, where it was there. It tried to spike down. I don't see it yet coming. The momentum is positive, so it can push the S&P up. And now the Qs is the leading, which is good. And if it managed to break the 313, we're gonna see a continuation to the upside, which is good. Let's check on the, let's clear it up. Let's see how it looks on the monthly. You can see it's much stronger than the S&P, even though it's a low volume. This is a reversal candle, and it don't want to reverse. This is a reversal candle, and it just don't want to reverse. So probably lots of people wait to see how if it managed to break 314, the high, and if it does, it can, if it do, it can push to the 340 again, 335. Going to be very interesting, even though there is a small volume. It started to move above, so next resistance is the 50, and it will push to the upside. If we go to the weekly to see how it looks, Again, I don't think there is no divergence. This is 89, this is 84, there is no divergence. And this is what's troubled me. You can see the engulfing here last week, so you probably assume continuation to the downside. And what it did, it spiked down and immediately pushed to the upside, and it did another engulfing. So usually when you see those patterns, you could see like an inside candle and inside candle until there is a decision what's gonna be. Um, just a sec. All right, sorry, the kids. So where was I? Okay. We can see a double engulfing, so probably a lots of exhaustion. You can see the big volume coming to the upside. Usually there is a pattern that is, I think it's called a diamond pattern, something like this, and then it goes, and then you wait for the break or to the upside or to the downside. So you're probably gonna see something like this, and if not, then we're gonna see a continuation to the upside. Gonna be very unique because it's gonna push the stock market to the upside, probably take out all, and there is, you can see also the Fibonacci level, the T13, T15, if it's spike up, take out all the accumulation here, and then drops to the downside. I'm still biased to the downside for the longer term, but for the weeks and month, still probably gonna be sideways. Ups and down, you can make a benefit and profit in between those zones. Let's move to the 60 minutes and see how it looks there. This is the big move to the upside, and you can see the big rejection, but still hold. The bars are holding. There is no divergence. 1667, 22, there is no divergence. I will wait for the move to the downside, creating the divergence, and then probably gonna see a move to the upside. And what we have here, this is moving down. This is the, yeah, there is a break of the trend. I think a lot of people are waiting at the 390, the 290, 295 area. They want to re-enter, and there are still some people waiting at the 260 and 250 area. Um, let's move on to Tesla. All right, Tesla. This is the daily. Oh, there is a lot of line. Why did I put them there? Let's see. Oh, I can. Was on the daily. All right. So daily Tesla. We saw the break to the downside to the 170 and then pushing to the upside. And I think we probably gonna see a continuation to the downside, but what's gonna be weird that there is no volume to the upside, which is good. It means probably continuation to the upside, which is just profit taking from the 170. But the Qs and the SPY seems that they have some strength, so why not to push to the upside? So this is what, I don't know, something weird because it almost, this is 37, just one small red candle and it can push to the downside. This is just looking at the daily. If we look at the weekly how it ends, you can see it, the buyers committing here. This is a profit taking, which is good. If we, let's draw some Fibonacci level from the low, you can see this is the 38, this is like the 68, so they spike it, next target 158. I still think that Tesla should and will fall to the downside. This is the divergence. If we take the extension here, this is the end zone, 135, so why not to reach there? If we go to the 1 hour chart and see how it looks, Um, Trend is down. There is still not a big break of the trend. This is a unique one. You can see it here. This is 1625. This is 15. So there, let me see. This is moving down. This is moving out. There is a small divergence to the upside. So probably gonna open with a gap up. Try to push up with the market. There is a gap to close here at the 187 and could probably see a move to the downside. Let's see the 4-hour chart how it looks. This is the resistance. You could see the S&P broke it, the Qs much break it to the upside, but Tesla is weak. So Tesla is much weaker from the market. Remember it. So and this one can be a three candle setup. This is the first candle. This is the inside candle, and then we're gonna see a break to the downside. And I think a lot of people waiting for the break. Do we have some sort of divergence? Not yet. The trend is down. So let's see. I think it will follow the market from the bottom. So if the market will be strong, Tesla will be half strong, something like this. If the market will be weak, Tesla will be double weak. At the moment, moving a little bit to the downside, maybe retesting the 170, see if they want to commit, and then try to move to the upside. There is a resistance at the 185, the 195. It could reach to the 190 if it wants to. Catching up a lot of short sellers unprepared. And then at the 190 try to move to the downside. Next target above the 190 is the 202 area, so probably try to spike here, moving down, and then try to reach to the 202. We have a gap here, you can see it at the 202.60, and this is the gap I think it want to fill. On the short term, 182, 183 is the area it wants to reach. At the moment, it's still much weaker, and it can continue. Let me see. It can break. Yeah, it can break and reach to the 170 again. Retest the 170. So below the 170, next target is the 166, 65, and above the 183, and break it to the 190 and above. So indecision week for me this week. I will just follow the trend. Let's go for Apple and see how it looks. Apple, it was the leading of the market with the Qs. See how it went. It's break to the downside, immediately push to the upside. And I don't like this zone. I know a lot of people like to see the break from the 156 and see how it goes. Momentum is positive, which is good. And I think there is a divergence to the for reversal. This is 99.69, and then we have 95. So this is higher high, this is lower high. Could mean a move to the downside. If we look at it on the daily chart and see how it goes, this is a big distribution. Moving up, breaking the downside, try to break, and now probably catch a lot of buyers inside, and then try, I don't know, to see if it want to move to the upside. If I want to the market, Apple, Tesla move to the upside, I will want to bring a lot of buyer, and in order to bring a lot of buyer, you will have to give them a small risk, and the small risk is bringing the market and Apple for this to the 135, 130 area, commit in this area zone, and then push to the upside. At the moment, it doesn't look that way, and this is the reason you're gonna see a small volume. This is you can see this is big candle with small volume. This is a small candle with big volume. So there is a lot of pressure which need to release, and we probably need to see which way it's going to release. Because again, uh, some people probably look at it. This is shoulder, head, shoulder. Let's break this area, the 156, and then push to the 180 again. This is one scenario. Do the market economics support this? I don't know. I don't think so. But I'm reading the numbers at the moment. I won't try to trade a break. If there is going to be a break to the upside, I will wait for retest and then looking for a better opportunity for a much shorter and lower risk. Um, if we let's check the daily how it looks. You can see the big volume at the end of the session, trying to hold for the option and see what happened when there was a big volume there again. It's moved to the downside. So probably a lot of sellers and sellers there, and sellers try to commit. If they fail, guys, above the 157, going to be a nice push because this is from the start of February to let's say the end of March. There is a lot of volume, a lot of stop losses. So if it's gonna hit, push to the upside, gonna be a nice. Um, and you can see the 200 is pointing to the upside. So some stock upside, some stock to the upside. Just follow the trend, follow how it goes, and you will be okay. Let's go to NVDA. NVDA, I basically didn't read it right. I thought it would move to the upside and then finish it. Just hold the first resistance and the buyer commit, and then came, and then you can see the big volume at here taking out. There is a small gap here to close. This is the divergence, so this is a continuation. Any move to the downside will meet barriers and it will push to the upside, even though it's too far away from the 200. So probably gonna see a pullback again, and then the buyers will commit. It can push the market to the upside. If we see it here, see this is the break. This is a unique break. Momentum is positive. This is why the Qs move up. Apple, NVDA, it pushed the market. Even though Tesla didn't do much, it pushed the Qs to the upside. And this is a good sign. Let's move to MRNA and see how it looks. MRNA did exactly what we want. Prediction for just entering the 140, the move to the 180, and you can see already you have about 10% move to the 150. This is a break, trying to break. I think this is an attempt to break. Let's hope it won't fail here. The trend is up, momentum is up, but there is some sort of divergence. So probably took out all the short sellers here, took out all the volume they had, and you can see the big volume here. This is a red volume and small movement, so probably resting a little bit and then continue to the upside. If we look at it here, you can see the big volume coming at the end of the session. A lot of people commit to it for the close of this move for the 157 and above for the close for the 172. MRNA for the long term is positive, which is good. But be careful, MRNA is known that it's going to spike you. So they could spike, take out your stop loss, and then move with the direction you wanted. So be very careful with it. Let's move for Meta. Um, Meta, let's see it on the daily how it looks. Meta on the daily, this is a sideways move. We knew it's going to move to the downside and then break to the 190 and 195, I think, and it did. It even touched the 202. It wants to reach here the old numbers. It's going to take some time. I don't like it. I don't like this big gap. It's a weird, like it's a new stock. So I don't know. It's still far. I think it's need to reach here again. There is a divergence. You can see this is making higher highs. This is making lower highs. So just crossing above the 50 can push the market and Meta to the downside. So indecision this week. Be prepared for it. Let's go for BA. BA, right call, move to the downside, resting a little bit. This is continuation to the sideways move. Momentum is started to be negative. There is divergence to the upside. So probably again trying to push again to the 210, 208, and then try to decide what to do. This is a sideways move, big sideways move. The longer the base, the higher the space. So let's see if it's more to move the upside or the tunnel, the big red black tunnel. At the moment, there is no much decision there. Be prepared. This is end with the inside candle. If we check the weekly how it looks, you can see my prediction was I want to see the BA coming from the 170 area, bring the bars committing here, and then push to the upside. Just moving to the upside, everybody will not trade it and wait for the relief. You can see it break already this zone here, so I think it will push and start to push to the downside. Could maybe push the SPY to the downside. So is NVDA AAPL was a false break? I don't know. Let's finish with gold, and I will also talk about silver. People want me to talk about silver. So gold prediction was correct to the moving to the 180 again. This is the weekly. Let's move to the daily. Just a sec. So see how it went. Jump, jump, jump. Everybody jump. So gold jumping above to the 180. Break it amazingly. I think it's closed. Yeah, it closed the gap there. There is a small gap here to close, and the gold is with a lot of power. Probably a lot of people looking for some defensive and entering the gold. You have the next target, just the Fibonacci level, the 187 and the 200. A lot of people saying the gold is going to be to the 3,000 to, I don't know, to 2,500 maybe later. You can see the big volume, so a lot of people commit to the gold. Wait for the relief, and if you want to take a second chance to enter. If we check it here, you can see how it breaks, didn't look 186. This is the next target. Pretty much a big move to the upside. Yeah, and there is no divergence, so just the trend is up, so wait for the relief, some relief, and then re-enter. Let's move to silver. This is what I want to talk about, because now people entering the gold and the silver. And silver is, I think it's a nice opportunity. The trend, you can see change here and trend change here. So with the trend, I don't know if it's a good entry point, because silver can still push a little bit and then commit to the upside. If we look in it in, let's say, the monthly basis, and you can see this is the tunnel that the price is moving with. So you have it here and try to push. So if it breaks the 22, 23, it can push to the upside, which is nice. If we go to the weekly and see how it goes, this is a nice resting on the 1860. And if it breaks 2168 and maybe 22, I think a lot of people will enter at the 2250, and then it will push the price to the upside. There is a divergence to the upside, which is good. So silver, I think you should look at it in the longer term, because I think for the 2 years, 3 years, people will enter the silver, gold, and the Bitcoin. So let's move to Oxy. This is the oil. Target was that still 53. It was weak. Bounce up, bounce down, bounce up. I think it will start to bounce sideways, and then momentum is negative. I think it will fall to the 53. So let's finish up and try to sum it up. A little bit weird because it break close above, didn't change the trend. The trend is still down, but the Qs is much stronger, Apple, NVDA is much stronger. If it falls break and immediately will fall and open with a gap down, the market can continue to the 377. I want to see it here. I think this is the end target. It's going to take some time, maybe 2 weeks, but this is the end zone, and then we will think where it's want to go. Will it go to the 360 and what everybody is looking, the 320? But at the moment, it seems that it want to catch a lot of people off guard, take some stop losses, move to the upside. And at the moment for the S&P, the trend is still down, even though it's dancing above the trend line, which is good. I will be very suspicious about it. There is a big volume there just from the options. So let's see and relief. Let's see what happened on Monday. If it opened with a gap down inside, coming back, prepare for the move to the downside. If it will push to the upside, just move with the trend. Don't take a big size. And remember, this video just for entertainment. There is no recommendation to do um, any move or any entry to the long side or the short side. Read the disclaimer in the channel, and have a good luck and good week next week. Thank you guys, and bye.